Economist magazine every year publishes a number of indexes of performance. The United States, year after year, is #1 on the innovation index. And that's not because we're good at producing automobiles. That's because we're good in a lot of the new technologies in biochemistry and biology and pharmacology and information technology. And the U.S. continues to have a comparative advantage, and in computer and communications technology. And it's perfectly natural over time for new competitors to come into one type of industry, and for that industry then in the United States to decline. And that even helps to provide capital. The money that you're no longer throwing away producing automobiles that are not as good as you can buy abroad, that can be invested in these other new technologies. And it's the reason why the United States is able to get by without exporting more goods than we import is because we attract capital flows. And the reason why we attract capital flows is because we're on the frontier of new technologies. And so I'm not worried about insofar as the automobile industry in Michigan has viable, productive assets. They can be bought by companies that can do a better job of producing a better car. And that's the way I would go. I would let those, productive assets don't get lost in the economy. They're just discounted in price. A new buyer comes in and now at a lower cost is able to make do a better job economically in managing that industry, and a lot of these people will retain their jobs. Bankruptcy doesn't mean that the assets get lost and everybody loses their job. It just means that there's a disruption and an adjustment that has to be made. And I tell young people that you're going to grow up in a world in which you're going to have to probably change your professional career 2 or 3 times. When I was growing up, your father did what your grandfather did, and you did what your father did. Well, already I didn't do what my father did, and my children are doing different things than I do. And that's the world that we live in. And I think if we try to bail out and protect the automobile industry in the United States, it will be a short-term solution that will fail, and all of those resources will be wasted as a result. Better that to go into the things that we have an advantage in.